Right, so let's do this. Natasha Sinclair's life of suicide. So I'm gonna pre-warn you. It's 34 pages long, but it is sharp, brutal, and it really gets the point across. So there are 3 stories in total. All 3 involve Rebecca. Different parts of her life, 20, 45, so different age variations. But one thing remains the same in all 3. Becca doesn't survive. Each brutal act, we are introduced to the thoughts and feelings of the character in incredibly deep detail. Now, I said this on my written review. As somebody who has been in this dark place, walked the line, it is a very hard read. But also, there is a lot in there that I can resonate with. First story in particular it hits home big time. You are Rebecca walking through the forest, complete and utter determination and resolve that this is her only way to get strength over her life. The only way out, and the only way that she can truly be free, is to end it all. And this isn't one of those stories where you can pick it up, put it to the side and forget about it. It's nothing like that. This is so visceral, so in depth, and the emotions and feelings that Rebecca pours out, it's heartbreaking, because the truth of the matter is, you can't, with mental health, especially people with suicide ideation, it is so hard. You know, life could be absolutely amazing. Everything is going your way. Everything is, to the outside world, perfect. But internally, you feel numb to life, a mistake, a burden. The moment you open your mouth and vocalize your emotions, you feel stunted by it, because you see all over social media hashtag mental health awareness, hashtag depression, hashtag suicide prevention. But when you actually approach people, it's not exactly the same. By that I mean you feel the stigma of guilt. Like Rebecca does, she feels that if she tells anyone how she's feeling, she's a burden. In her mind, she is lost in this abyss of darkness. The void in her soul it's never gonna be filled. This is an ongoing struggle for her. This will never go away. The clear message that Natasha wanted to put across was that it's not a bad thing to ask for help. It's not a bad thing to ask for support. And it's one thing to promote mental health support, but it's another to actually take those actions. Words are beautiful, actions speak louder than that. If you have somebody in your life who feels the way Rebecca does, truly lost, who feel like this solution is the only solution, talk to them, get them support, hold their hand and talk them through it. Make them realize that you care very deeply for them, that you love them, you want to support them. And don't just turn away and wonder why that person walked away from life. To be so completely alone, I get it. I've been there. Luckily for me, I have the most amazing support system who remind me every day that I am loved and I am worthy of that love. I'm not a burden, I'm not a mistake, and it is the best feeling in the world to have such an incredible support system, and not many people have such amazing luck as I have. I am going to include on my link the links that Natasha put in her book at the end of the stories, which are resources for mental health. If you are struggling, talk, get support. No, you're not alone. And this book, it is a trigger warning and a half. There are some brutal scenes in it, but if you can talk about this, but you don't want to acknowledge the aftermath or the event itself, then you can't read this, because it takes a lot of strength to do what Natasha has done and write something so dark, and her soul just pours through it. Honestly, guys, it is a read, but I will warn you, it's hard. But it's worth it for the message that this puts across.